Peace to the gods and the goddesses of the nation, of the land, and of all creation. Hope everybody doing well. Hope you blessed. Hope you making an impact on those that's in your family, yourself, and those who come in contact with you. Breaking news. We now have breaking news saying that U.S. casualties were, and in fact, it did happen when Iranian struck the military base in Iraq. People, I'm going to be straight up honest with y'all. This is some bullshit. This is only a ploy to keep Donald Trump in office and to keep you in chains. Straight up. You want to know how it's fake? Because when it first happened, what did Donald Trump come out and say? He said there were no U.S. or Iraqi casualties on the military base after Iran struck. Now we have, let's say, 8 days later, after the whole shebang, now all of a sudden we have U.S. casualties on base. This is only to spark the attention to let you know that we are not safe. This is only to spark your attention to let you know that you need the military force by your side every step that you take. Take a look right here. And this shows you how fake and fraud that the government really is. Because they love to say some shit and you don't really pay attention to it, and then double back after that like a week or so later and come back with some new shit. President Trump addressed the nation Wednesday morning after a barrage of ballistic missiles launched by Iran that targeted at least 2 military bases used by the U.S. and coalition forces in Iraq. The U.S. has not confirmed any casualties from the attack on bases in northern and western Iraq, according to Pentagon. Now listen, Pentagon spokesman Jonathan Hoffman. The missiles hit the Assad Air Base, one of the largest U.S. facilities in Iraq, which houses both Iraqi and U.S. forces in western Iraq. This right here was published on January 8th. It's now January 14th, 6 days later. You get what I'm saying? And that night that Trump gave the address, when he addressed the nation regarding the attack, he said there was no U.S. or Iraqi casualties. You would know who hurt. As soon as it happened, you already know. The base already are aware of what happened. Or at least would have came out the next day saying like, okay, there were U.S. casualties, there were U.S. men and Iraqis hurt, so forth, so forth. But here we go, which was published yesterday by the Washington Post. We have this. U.S. commanders at the Iraqi military base targeted by Iranian missiles said Monday they believed the attack was intended to kill American personnel, an act that could have pushed two powers closer to outright war. You see what they talking about? You see what they talking about? They're trying to get you scared. This is basic common sense, people. I want you to have. They're all look what the first thing that they say. An act that could have pushed the two powers closer to outright war. The missile barrage last week, let me read it, against the sprawling Ain al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq left deep craters in the crumbled wreckage of living quarters and a helicopter launch site. At least 2 soldiers were thrown through a window of a meters high tower, and several dozen U.S. troops were later treated for concussion as a result of the missile strikes, military officials on the base said. This is a whole bunch of bullshit. If 2 soldiers got through a window, we would have knew about that the night it happened. There's no way that these casualties would not have been posted and brought to the attention of the American people. There's no way you will have let at least 3 to 4 to 5 days go by before you announce the casualties that, come on now. We witnessed all the casualties soon as they happened when President Bush was in office and they was going to war in Iraq with Saddam. So if we heard about all the casualties then, what makes the information is way entirely better now? So what makes you think that we ain't gonna know about the casualties? And it's a person, a spokesperson from the Pentagon that's bringing you the news after it happens. How you not gonna know all these casualties happen? They said, where is that? At least 2 soldiers were thrown through the window of a meters high tower and several dozen. A dozen is 12. So if it's several, that means multiple. I'm talking about like 50 men were treated later for a concussion. You mean to tell me all of these people hurt in the same time after the shit happened? Trump addresses the nations and tell you there was not no casualties? Nobody hurt from the U.S. side or Iraqi side? But we get days later to spark it up because it's not building enough steam for the people to get you scared? They think we stupid, family, but trust and believe every day that they break this bullshit ass news that's gonna further martial law, I'm gonna bring it to you. And I'm gonna let you know every time that these motherfuckers is fronting. Because all they trying to do is get you scared. All they trying to do is keep Trump in office. This is all they trying to do. So stay tuned, man, because we're going to be breaking news every day if we had to. Peace to the gods and the goddesses of the nation, of the land, and of all creation. And everybody stay blessed, stay safe, and build on this.